My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only, and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft.
All right, this is bathroom monitoring inside of the Stater Brothers, which has the fake son I documented upon my arrival. So these are the demon-possessed that are stalking with light, where the fake son is sitting a mile from here at the OVITT Family Community Library, which I published and put on the web, on the Google site, the Google Drive for you to witness. These are sex offenders who know where you're at, and this is the means of psychopathic pacing, repeatedly coming to the door to enter in the keypad, which is audible activity, while you're stalking in the path on the opposite side of the door, to monitor my vagina, doing so while my vagina is exposed, doing so while I'm moving around inside of the venue. This is a means of monitoring, and these are sex offenders who are stalking. They are stalking in the pathetic manner likened to those who reek of urine, who consume their own feces, stalking someone in a bathroom, targeting them in the bathroom as a means of obsessing over them, and you are not doing so ignorantly under the fake sun. This is the sexual violence, the group sexual violence of Stater Brothers Markets, not a family store. Everybody in the store is engaged in what is vagina monitoring, and demons are engaged in psychopathic pacing, going toward the restroom in order to engage in what is a means of monitoring. This is P.O.C. It's currently 7:14 a.m. As of 6:59 a.m., the demon's accessing, and they're doing this when they know that you're in there. So you're doing that with regard to what is harassment, with regard to obsessing. Oh, her panties are down, her legs are spread open. I'm going to go and try to access inside of the bathroom. Now you're doing that with knowledge. And you have, what is that, 7 o'clock in the morning, by the way, as an aside, people that are coming to the grocery store to come use the public restroom. or all the homeless people in the city who are also gang stalking are coming to access the restroom. And this is the entity that's engaged in that under the fake sun. It is 7:14 a.m. This is likened to the entity that is asking me if I'm filming them when you're gang stalking me. When the entity is setting the fake sun on me and it's also rising the fake sun on me within 1 mile of the same city, the same location. Where the entity is stalking me, flying in circles over my head by helicopter, following me everywhere, and you're engaging what is asking me if I'm filming you, and you're trying to get into the restroom where you know exactly where I'm at as well, that is relevant to diagnosing mental illness. The pattern of conduct is utilized to assess the mental illness of the population that is demon-possessed. And the gang stalker will be federally prosecuted, and they are simultaneously subject to what are mental examinations, the diagnosis regarding their mental illness that is a threat to the public, while they are monitoring American citizens at 7:16 a.m. These are the tactics of sex offenders and obsessed stalkers. Alrighty, you are analyzing what is actually going on. This is not just inadvertent and accidental, ignorant efforts to try to access a restroom where, you know, everyone's minding their business and there's actually privacy in existence and the government's not engaging in surveillance and everybody around you sharing in that and they're engaging in some malicious system. It's a threat because of the reality of surveillance. Remember, trying to access the restroom is accomplishing monitoring. Monitoring is ongoing in furtherance of murder. It's an ongoing means of sexually violent, predatory, facilitating monitoring conduct elements, activity creation, which is a threat while you are analyzing it. You're analyzing it based on the harm that the ordinary target individual experiences, and you're also analyzing it under the law. They're engaging in the elements of monitoring while they're engaging in accessing the door, and that's an unlawful threat. And to the targeted individual, their mind, they are experiencing what is ongoing fear while they are threatened with regard to the entity that is gang stalking them, seeking to break into the restroom where they are always being targeted. And remember, the ordinary target individual is being targeted where they don't have evidence to prove it. So it is psychologically torturous, all right? It's very threatening. It's harassing. It's that which is causing ongoing, and it's the type of thing it's actually not paranoia when it's a reality, but it causes you to fear. Are you going to be violated? Are you going to be, is someone going to break into the bathroom and violate your privacy and watch you in the nude and come, you know, the masses are going to come, because this is how psychotic they are. I'm just getting to the mindset. You're analyzing this. You're engaging in the elements of monitoring while you're doing that. And you're doing it in the bathroom. Okay, when I walk into the grocery store, everybody in there is stalking. Why is there engineer light when I'm standing in standing in line to make a purchase? Why is there engineer light dancing on the wall, on the ceiling, in the depths of the store? This is what's going to coexist with this evidence. You're going to prosecute for that. And I'm also going to humiliate you, but you're going to prosecute for that. It's absolutely ridiculous how psychotic these demons are. It's 7:21 a.m. and this is state action, and it's also a means of prosecuting fraudulent businesses like Stater Brothers. P.O.C.
Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes, and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C., and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state. And it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. All right, this is Frank. License plate 9 Victor Sam George 433. Frank is gang stalking where he works. I just want to be clear, gang stalking at a place of employment is a means of systematically targeting and furtherance of murder with the state, which is the basis for federal prison, a mandate for federal prison. Frank is here regularly gang stalking, and he is with the City of Ontario that's engaging what is seeking to break into the bathroom where they are both gang stalking and then seeking to access the restroom as though you know someone is not already occupying it, and you are aware that I'm occupying it, and you're monitoring me in the bathroom. You're also doing so while my genitalia is exposed. Frank is now engaged in criminal summoning. Frank represents the entity because they're all engaging in that together. And as you'll pay attention to my documentation, the city that's engaging what is monitoring, pacing and engineer light, the entity's engaging in this while the fake sun is setting at the OVITT Family Community Library where Alexander Grigg is gang stalking with American Medical Response in the same way that Frank is, okay? Erica is engaging with the pattern of conduct. She's monitoring me inside at the register, and they're monitoring together. That's audible activity, light activity, relevant positioning, okay? And this is the P.O.C. Where American Medical Response is not engaged in ambulatory services, they're engaged in state surveillance. This is the basis to remove the mayor. This is my ability to affect light activity underneath the covered structure. It's impossible. This is relevant to the illusion of privacy, the illusion of ignorance about who's in the bathroom, the illusion of engaging in what is being around people that don't know who you are. They're monitoring. His shadows are telling you that. Okay, they're walking in engineer light. Pay attention. It's the P.O.C. Their shadows are moving across the wall, and their shadows are on the ground. 2 distinct shadows. All right, this is the pattern of conduct. And this is where the entities engage in all manner of monitoring. The light activity is relevant to the Ontario International Airport, that is indeed stalking again. Like I'm showing you at the OVITT Family Community Library, where this entity that reeks of urine asking me questions about whether I'm filming you, and whether I am, that's exactly what you're going to do, as the feds are going to prosecute. When you're engaging in terrorism with that light activity, you're stalking me, and you're monitoring, and you're asking me questions in the shoes of the state, engaging in criminal monitoring and furtherance of my murder, and asking me a question that you know the answer to. You're going to be diagnosed with regard to severe mental instability, malicious conduct that is an unlawful threat posed by the government, that's engaging in this manner of psychopathic behavior. This is relevant to the light activity, and this is where the airport is stalking. This is where American medical response is sounding sirens. This is where that reek of urine are again stalking in planes and ambulances, police vehicles, fire trucks, and helicopters. Those are the demons. I just want to be last night. It's my vagina that's dictating the aerial traffic, the air traffic. And that's because the state of California is a sex offender. Okay? And so is Stater Brothers. Alrighty, they are using the alarm system as a means of monitoring. They're doing so a criminal cooperative effort with the city of Ontario. They're engaging in surveillance in the parking lot just like this. And just like that, that's surveillance too while they're in motion, but this is surveillance while they're in relevant position. Demons are trying to break into the bathroom. The demons are flying over the parking lot. The demons are engaged in criminal surveillance with regard to criminal summoning. They're walking like psychopaths in engineer light, and you're monitoring AVHC 981. You're monitoring 8WAT062. You're monitoring as Omnitrans on the roads and the highways making money. This is the prosecution of the state. The entity that smells of urine is highly unintelligent and is woefully unprepared with regard to a federal RICO case regarding every single last business, not just in the state of California, but on the venue of the internet, okay, with regard to federal stalking, violating my privacy rights. The inhumanity behind the sexual violence of the entity. It's an unprecedented basis of damages, and it is a basis of federal prison as well, because it's criminal activity in furtherance of murder. No ordinary sex offender. This is P.O.C. Where the entity is stalking by the Ontario International Airport, that entity is engaging in what is gang stalking. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently 7:55 a.m. Just so you can see, this is ongoing surveillance. And then when I capture video, they start doing the cartwheels as though flying in the opposite direction, equally having nothing to do with legitimate flights taking off and landing at the airport. It's something different. It is all stalking. It's also pursuant to knowledge. Southwest Airlines is gang stalking while the people of the state are monitoring what I'm publishing on the internet on Stater Brothers Wi-Fi, where their Stater Brothers are the people of the state engaging in federal stalking. I'm going to prosecute Stater Brothers with regards to surveillance on the internet and with regards to surveillance in places like bathrooms where they are gang stalking in furtherance of murder. Stater Brothers is a sex offender, and Stater Brothers is a terrorist, just like Southwest Airlines is. So is El Pollo Loco, so is Habit, so is the Ontario Village Shopping Center, so are the people of the state gang stalking on Bonita. The entity maintaining this fake sun and this ongoing stalking conduct as an entity. The stalkers and the environment follow me back to whatever location I am, which is the Ontario Town Square and the OVITT Family Community Library, where this fake sun is then setting. Okay, where you see psychopaths engage in pacing inside of the building of a library, and they center all their attention on books while all they're doing is stalking. Okay, that's the mentally ill behavior of gang stalkers who are demon possessed. This is P.O.C. I just want to get you another video because this is all they're doing is stalking in the sky space. And this is a surefire prosecution. Frank is engaging in surveillance in the parking lot. Criminal activity. And his work schedule, that's all I need. Okay, you were here. Not only that, the entity that's on vacation, you don't have to be physically here in the building. I'm going to prosecute Stater Brothers. They're all engaging in terrorism. While Stater Brothers is closed, guess what the gang stalkers are doing? They're still I've already documented. They're still stalking, engaging in surveillance, coming onto the parking lot, stalking in the path with light, stalking by in the air, in the sky space with plane and helicopter, stalking on the roads and highways in relevant position. Stater Brothers is going to be federally prosecuted, period. Stater Brothers represents the entity. This is the prosecution of the U.S. government that is acting with the people who are not private citizens. It's not private businesses. It's not private property. It's not private speech. That is literally the government acting via a demon-possessed Jehovah's Witness who's engaging in criminal activity, demonic activity, and doing so on behalf of the state. This is P.O.C. It is currently 8:04 a.m. One 1591755, vehicle 1023, stalking with the city of Ontario and the people of the state who are also the city of Ontario. And remember, Jay Montez, he's under the fake sun at 9:38 a.m. And this is, again, the entity that is mentally ill, demon-possessed, unlawful threat. There's a gun in his possession. This is representing authority under the law that they are maliciously abusing with the people of the state who are stalking me in airplanes and in helicopters of the same department. It is unreasonable to even posit that you are not engaged in that same very well documented pattern of conduct with the demons that stalk with light under the fake sun, pacing like psychopaths. This is gang stalking on the roads and the highways. It is federal stalking. And Jay Montes is going to prison. And then his partner right here that's gang stalking is going to prison. And this is how you knock the dunces together with regard to prosecuting them as a department. Stalking. 159-1755-1023. This is the same B Street. This is the same intersection where Jay Montes, with the helicopter activity, they went to the extent to include helicopter activity, while the people of the state are stalking on the roads and the highways under a fake sun that is still right here on this street over me. But remember, the next day when I'm reminding you, as I go to a different location, such as staying at the Stater Brothers or going to the Ontario Town Square, and show you what is absolutely different and what would be the pattern of conduct as well, because the fake sun's in this position at 6 p.m. right here, where the entity is stalking me by helicopter. And I have that on video as well, where the entity is engaging in state surveillance. This is not traffic in California. The demon-possessed, the Nephilim, consume the state of California, and they are sitting in positions of government authority, which is currently being abused with regard to a criminal enterprise for murder upon stalking, surveillance, in violation of your constitutional and human rights. And they're doing it with the civilian population who are under no circumstances civilized. This is P.O.C. This is public corruption. You don't have any constitutional rights to engage in surveillance. You don't have any private property. You're not engaging in any private speech. You're also mentally ill. This is psychopathic, while the demons thought that they had the perfect plot, the perfect plan. That's the pattern of conduct. That's federal prison. Gang stalking police officers are going to prison. They're terrorists, and there shall be no negotiation. It's not a matter of how many, there's no such thing as putting too many terrorists in prison. They are going to prison. Under no circumstances is that being negotiated. They are engaging in what are murdering people, and then the gang stalking courts are finding ways to legitimize it with regard to case law, to facilitate and maintain this ongoing corrupt system. This is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 8:59 a.m. The entity is maintaining the pattern of conduct as I'm walking from Stater Brothers, where you saw the fake sun rising. You think this is remaining underneath so low, it's hanging so low that it's creating sunlight on the walls beside the demons that are pacing inside of the entrance and the ingress and egress, if you will, of that Stater Brothers with regard to monitoring, because that's what they're doing right here. They're stalking in the engineered light. At the entrance of the Stater Brothers, they're stalking in the engineered light. And the entity keeps a fake sun. That's why it's here, as I documented in summer of 2025. Daylight savings time. And the entity is stalking when you're recognizing the environment, the illusion that you're in. And you know that it's an illusion wherever you are in this country. Because while these dunces keep a fake sun over me, you know that you are in the same specific environment, subject to the same criminal pattern of conduct, the U.S. government's pattern of conduct, because it's a fake sun by necessity. While this exclusive star that sits here until after 6 p.m. is over you in Florida, in New York, in New Hampshire, in Texas, in Nevada, in Minnesota, in Washington, at the Pentagon, the White House. This is P.O.C. They're an army of terrorists, they're demons, and they're violent sex offenders, keeping your genitalia under surveillance. That's how detailed. That's how obsessive. All right, that's how unclose and violative the surveillance is. Smelling of urine and then asking me whether I'm filming you. Absolutely, I'm filming serial killers and murderers who think that they can surveil you, steal from you, and then act like they don't know what happened upon an investigation of it. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 9 a.m. Criminal summoning. Severely mentally unstable. Demons that are operating ambulances is again a inherent issue with regard to the fraudulent and corrupt and dangerous practices of those that are in the medical field engaging in this system of surveillance. They are severely unstable while in these positions, such as EMTs. They're literally engaging in criminal activity and mentally deranged behavior while operating an ambulance that is designed to help people with the mental illnesses that they suffer from while they're gang stalking. That's the city of Ontario that is engaged in what is a criminal contract for surveillance, American Medical Response, engaging criminal summoning under the fake sun. Doing so with Brightview. Doing so the same third party same third party company, doing so at the same facilitating venue where the fake sun is setting in alignment to me, which you see in the images. It is 9:33 a.m. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 7 hours from now, the fake sun is shining through the doors of the OVITT Family Community Library, which I am looking at the building right now. That's where you're understanding and you're able to literally see that which is invisible, the mental illness of those operating ambulances, engaging in what are criminal summoning, engaging in what are kidnappings pursuant to criminal defamation when they are unfit to be in the medical field and at any level. All right, this is what is being exposed, and this is what is going to be a means of what is neutralizing the threat posed to American citizens who are kidnapped. They're murdered. They are subject to what are abuse in the medical field. As I'm showing you, it's the same in the legal field. I'm showing you it's the same amongst the civilian population where the Nephilim are engaging in this criminal system. It's P.O.C. It's criminal summoning at 9:34 a.m. under the fake sun at Ontario Town Square. All right, license plate. Bunch of sex offenders waiting to engage in sexual assault and battery. Surveillance at the Ontario Town Square. Sitting around stalking, just waiting. License plate. 27918 Charlie 4. License 8YYU 488. License 7B Mary Kelly 384. License 9 Wendy Charlie Mary 352. License 82544 Victor 2. This is Ontario Town Square that's engaging in surveillance as well. The City of Ontario being federally prosecuted while the people of the state use the City of Ontario venue to engage in surveillance with the City of Ontario, who is, of course, stalking by commercial airline planes at the same venue. Okay, so they're engaging in criminal conduct that the city is sharing in and using a venue of the city to commit that ongoing criminal act, which is in furtherance of murder. License 9 Thomas Larry Kelly 273. These are psychos. So the moment that I leave from the OVITT Family Community Library and walk across the street to the town square, this is where a bunch of, that's a predator. That's a freak, weirdo, stalker. That's what the people of the state are, and they all fill the library all day long stalking me, including while they do so by clocking in at work. The entities engaging in that the moment that I walk over here, a sex offender, a stalker, a demon-possessed person, the demons that I'm dragging on my ex, when you see the pictures of them, all of them vagina monitors, that's exactly what they are. The mentally ill. I'm not exaggerating. This is the mentally ill population who need to be identified, and that's exactly why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. Stalking with engineered light at the Ontario Town Square like a psychopath and then trying to speed off when you know that you're being documented because you are stalking. License plate. Another one, touching on my buttocks, touching on my back of me. This is a psycho. License 6 Samuel 0 Edward 984. This is a homosexual. This is a female. She's a psychopath with a female in the passenger seat as well, looking like a serial killer. Can I help you? Can I help you? Oh, you're just stalking? Are you gay? Are you looking for a girlfriend? I'm not interested in women. Stop stalking in the middle of the night. Go find you a boyfriend. Stop being a weirdo. It's late. Go find a life. Go get you some business. Go get you some business. That's a stalker. 6SOE984. Again, I want to be clear. That ongoing interest in me, that's a demon that's triggered because she's sitting up listening to me document what she's doing as well. And that's exactly why she's getting that sort of commentary from me. It's the truth. I'm telling a homosexual to her face that you're gay because you're stalking a woman in the middle of the night. And what are you going to say to that other than cussing back at me? Because it's the truth. You're sitting here stalking. And then you're also triggered because you're demons and you think that no one's supposed to know. But I do know. And not only that, I have the skill set to prosecute you for it. And also to have you diagnosed regarding your closeted mental illness, which is not so closeted when I'm publishing it all over the internet. That's the pattern of conduct, and that's what the government's going to be prosecuted for. A whole bunch of gay women who are stalking me in the middle of the night, and their male counterparts who are obsessed with me and don't even like them. These are the demon-possessed that don't have genuine marriages. They don't have genuine relationships. They don't have genuine friendships and family life. The gang-stalking demons are families that come and stalk and monitor me. The demon-possessed, those that are already dead, these zombies, these bots, walking around with spirits on them, serving the criminal system, the satanic system of the government that spends millions of dollars on stalking little old me, my vagina that's running what is the aerial, the air traffic in the city of Ontario. And as I've gone from city to city, I'm showing you that same pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. It is currently 10:37 p.m. All right, I want to document the entity that is stalking. This is state action. This is the entity that's engaging in conspicuous surveillance. And as I am observing my surroundings, seeing a stalker in relevant position in the engineer light, this is the entity that does so in that peculiar light activity. And as you do so, the sex offenders of Ceres Regis are engaging in what is gang stalking with the entity, crossing paths on the roads and the highways. They're stalking together. That's light activity while they're engaging in monitoring you together. This is the entity that's engaging in what is molesting. This is a sex offender. It doesn't have to say anything, doesn't have to touch you physically. They are physically touching and accosting with impossible light while they're monitoring you. And this is a demon-possessed person. This is the ongoing threat posed by the government, and this is why people like Mike LORENZ are being federally prosecuted for the documentation, the catalog of evidence showing how he is a terrorist leader and how he shall, as a corrupt police department that's actually engaging in criminal surveillance, be federally prosecuted and held responsible under the law for the terrorism that the people of the state are engaging in. This is an unlawful threat to your safety, and it is also a threat to your well-being and the entity, what is gang conduct. Okay, you're not doing anything other than stalking in the environment where I've got 7 shadows in front of me. All right, this is the entity that's maintaining this environment while they're also stalking with impossible light. And this is the entity that harasses you and terrorizes you as you document the stalker, and then you're being accosted with impossible light activity that's occurring supernaturally while they're pacing all around. They're pacing all around, stalking you, threatening you. Okay, that's a threat while they're engaging in that in the specific environment, especially as you document. So I want to document that. This is the Ontario Town Square, and I just want to make sure that it is understood. Being touched, being threatened with the light activity, which is serving to monitor you. Monitoring is occurring in furtherance of murder. It is very much a threat with regard to stalkers that are present while you are being accosted with engineered light that's occurring supernaturally, first of all. Secondly, serving the monitoring purpose in concert with the government having a habit of kidnapping, maliciously alleging false assertions about you, and also defaming your character in furtherance of murder. The entity is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct of stalking with impossible light, which is also psychologically harmful. It's under no circumstances harmless. It's under no circumstances something that is less than any other unlawful touching, and it is also something that is relevant to the entity's criminal purpose of threatening you while they're engaging in things such as demonic behavior, which is designed to occur in a manner where you're not able to even prove that it's happening. Okay, so that's the significance of the playlist regarding the stalking with light conduct. And this is what psychopaths that are stalking you in the middle of the night engage in. Okay, this is relevant to what is obsession. This is somebody that wants to be. This is relevant to the last lesbian that I addressed. They are the same entity, so you'll have another lesbian engaging in the same conduct, wanting to be near me, wanting to engage in what is presence. This is how an entity that's a coward, but at the same time obsessed with my vagina, will engage in that same harassing conduct, being right by you, stalking you, being in the path, you turn around and they're still there. They're touching you with impossible light while the entity's stalking by plane and helicopter. These are the tactics that gang stalkers engage in. And gang stalkers are targeting because the government is targeting, and they're engaging in state action, and it is committed in furtherance of murder. So that ongoing unlawful threat is to be appreciated. The people of the state are being federally prosecuted as terrorists, and so is the government. There's no warrant or probable cause, and this is unlawful presence in the path. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, at the Ontario Town Square. I want to get that. It is p.m. where the entity is engaging in that pattern of, it's 11 p.m. This is P.O.C.